How's it going, bros? My name is Lucky Pickle, and today I finished reading all of Dragon Ball. So what does that look like? This is what it looks like. There's 16 Dragon Ball mangas. We're gonna go through the series and my thoughts on the series. So, what did I think about this amazing manga? Well, that's it right there. It's amazing. He's a genius. Akira Toriyama's a genius. He's a genius among geniuses. Every time you saw a anime and you were like, "Wow, that anime was so good." They were just ripping off Akira Toriyama. Do you understand? You don't understand what I mean by that. They were just ripping off Akira Toriyama whenever everybody everybody's just copying, taking notes. Every manga of all time. Naruto with the weighted training gear. Oh, Rock Lee. Oh, I'm gonna take off my weighted training. Boom, right there. They were just ripping off Akira Toriyama. Goku did it first. Whatever you think is good in a manga or anime, Goku did it first. You know, after reading, this is just Dragon Ball. This isn't even Dragon Ball Z. Like, we're not even at the good stuff yet. Not to say this isn't good, because it is really good. But it's insane how much manga and anime is just ripping off Dragon Ball. They're like, or at least references or whatever. The best way I would describe Akira Toriyama's work is like, he's really good at doing whatever the hell he wants and still making it fit in the story. And I have a really good example of that. Like how they fight the mummy, they fight the devil, they fight a vampire and the invisible man, and that's in issue number 9. Um but it just feels like he's doing whatever he wants and getting away with it. He's really good at like doing some random shit and like making it make sense. But actually that's kind of the cool part. Like none of it makes sense. It's like all fantasy. I really like the first blurb he writes. The setting of Dragon Ball has a sort of Chinese feel, but it's not necessarily in China. Exactly where it takes place is uncertain. The overall story is very simple, but I like to keep making up more details and illustrations as I go along. This way I can draw anything I want to and enjoy the tension and excitement of figuring out what I'll draw next. You know, this is a philosophy everybody needs to take to heart, cuz this is genius. He's saying like he just said something, you know. He said the overall story is very simple, but I'd like to keep making up details and illustrations as I go. He's basically, and it's true, I didn't even think about this, but Dragon Ball is a very simple story. It's not like bing bang boom boom boom. It's more like, okay, get the Dragon Balls and then all this shit happens in the way. And the Dragon Balls are like, if you don't already know, the one person who doesn't know about Dragon Ball. The Dragon Balls are these 7 orbs that if you gather all 7, you can make a wish. And the dragon god Shenlong comes out. And here we go. That's Shenron. It's spelled Shenlong in the manga, but they say Shenron. There are some things that are like different spelling or words a lot in compared to the manga in here. Something cool about manga that I knew but I didn't really think about is that these manga artists have to release like a chapter per week, and that's like what the contract is for shonen. So at the end of this, they put the weekly chapter that was that came out at that time. Okay, I guess we can go through the story now. So for like the first two or three, Goku's getting the Dragon Balls for the first time, and then someone else captures him, and then they make the wish instead. And then Goku trains with Master Roshi, who he met on his adventure, and Master Roshi teaches him the way of martial arts. And Master Roshi teaches him martial arts because he wants him to go into the Tenkaichi Budokai. And the Tenkaichi Budokai is translates to the strongest under the heavens tournament. And oh my god, this is what the original Dragon Ball is really about. So Dragon Ball is called Dragon Ball, but it's not even about the Dragon Balls. But the Dragon Balls are a huge part of the story. But I would say this original Dragon Ball is all about the Tenkaichi Budokai because so whenever people say, "Oh, Goku doesn't lose. Goku wins all the time. Goku's the GOAT." Goku loses all the time in this series, and he especially loses at the Tenkaichi Budokai. He loses 2 times at the Tenkaichi Budokai, and at the very end of the series, he wins. And that's what the series ends on him winning the Tenkaichi Budokai. Something I really like about Goku's story is that he travels the world looking for the Dragon Balls, and he meets people and like helps them out. So here he is in Russia, I think. Like obviously they don't say, but like you know what I mean? Like I'm pretty sure he's in Russia in this one. And then he travels to West City, which I think is supposed to be like America. And then he goes underwater looking for another Dragon Ball. So he's like exploring the world or whatever, like the the actual world. Like he's unlocking all the zones on the Fortnite map. And another time Goku loses against Tao Pai Pai. And then my interpretation of the Red Ribbon Army is like that they're supposed to be the remnants of Nazis. Cause like they're always talking about, oh, the Red Ribbon Army's so evil, and like I don't know that they Red Ribbon, you know, like what in recent time was like I don't know. There you see their logo right there. It kind of reminds me of Nazis as well, even though it's not at all. It just reminds me of them. So I always like to think that Goku was taking down the Nazis. So there's 3 Tenkaichi Budokais in this series. There's the 21st Tenkaichi Budokai, the 22nd Tenkaichi Budokai, and the 23rd Tenkaichi Budokai. So the 21st Tenkaichi Budokai, Master Roshi comes in to fight Goku because no one could have beat him. And the reason Master Roshi did this was so that Goku doesn't get like full of himself and is like, oh wow, I'm the best in the world. No one can beat me. I don't have to listen to you, Master Roshi. Oh, and you know the. Remember when I was telling you everyone copies Akira Toriyama? You know those like pages in Bleach where they just have like drip? Where do you think that came from? Akira Toriyama was the first person drawing his characters in drip. Akira Toriyama invented drip. Like, do people even understand that? And right here we have Master Roshi versus Goku at the 21st Tenkaichi Budokai. And of course, Master Roshi beats his ass, but just barely, which is very cool. Something I really love, it's like everyone is getting better and better and like okay, something I love about the Tenkaichi Budokais is that every time there's a Tenkaichi Budokai, everyone is better because they're all trying to catch up to Goku. Like they're always like, "Oh, Goku's gonna train super hard, so I better be training super hard for the next Tenkaichi Budokai." And then they come back and they're genuinely stronger. They all have new tricks up their sleeves and shit. This is the 22nd Tenkaichi Budokai, Ten Shinhan versus Goku. The only thing I don't like about this Tenkaichi Budokai is Tenshinhan is cheating and then he barely wins. So even though he stopped cheating and became a good guy halfway through the Tenkaichi Budokai, he was like, "Oh, I learned the error of my ways" or whatever. He still got like four free shots on Goku, and then he barely won. But he was also like, "Hey, don't be cheating. I don't want to cheat," because his teammates were the one cheating. But that's whatever. So after the 22nd Tenkaichi Budokai, there's something really cool that happens. Krillin is fucking dead. Krillin is just fucking dead, and Goku goes nuts, and he just goes and runs out to find whoever killed Krillin, and because this is right after the 22nd Tenkaichi Budokai, so he's super tired because he just gave him everything at the battle, right? So then this little demon fucker just whoops Goku's ass, even though Goku could have probably killed him. And then that's when we get into King Piccolo, the Demon King. King Piccolo is a fucking goat. I love This is probably my favorite arc in Dragon Ball when King Piccolo shows up. No, I'd have to say my favorite arc is the 23rd Tenkaichi Budokai. But still, this is really good. So basically, King Piccolo kills everyone, and then like everyone is dead. So like, and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna take over the world." So he goes like on TV to every channel, and he's like, "I'm the new king. You think you're the king? I'm the king." That's what he basically does. And then of course Goku shows up after a crazy training arc, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm about to whoop your ass, boy." And then he whoops King Piccolo's ass. And then after he whoops King Piccolo's ass, I love how they phrase it, like the translation. So there's this character named Kami, right? And the translation to Kami in Japanese is God. So they're like Goku's after that, Goku is invited to go to heaven to meet with God. I'm pretty sure that was on purpose though, if I'm being honest. I'm pretty sure Akira Toriyama meant to do that. And this is God. He looks just like King Piccolo. And the reason for that is because Kami split himself in two because he wanted to um extract all the evil from his body. He's like push it out. So he did that, and then it turned out to be King Piccolo, and King Piccolo is basically like evil or whatever. And then Goku trains with God for 3 years. I'm not even kidding. It's fucking hilarious. And then after Goku trains with God for 3 years, because King Piccolo didn't die, he just reincarnated himself. So King Piccolo is now Piccolo Jr. and Piccolo Jr. trains to be Goku for 3 years, and Goku trains with God for 3 years. I love how they phrase it. And then at the 23rd Tenkaichi Budokai, that's when Goku is like kind of grown up. He's like a young man. And like I don't know, there's something really cool about seeing Goku as a young man, you know? Cuz like he's like a kid, like a stupid kid, but once he's a young man, he's a little more mature and like I don't know, he's a little more serious. Like look at this little bow he does, you know what I mean? And for the first time Goku is like actually thinking like thoughts. Like he's thinking ahead, not just saying stupid shit. Like Goku's actually like a monkey, you know? So like it's funny. And now we're at the 23rd Tenkaichi Budokai. So Goku has still not won any Tenkaichi Budokais. He's gotten really close. But now he has to fight Piccolo's reincarnation to win the Tenkaichi Budokai. And here's Piccolo. Piccolo's like a menace. And Piccolo's not a bad guy. He just thinks he has to be a bad guy, which is super cool because it's like Goku. The one thing about Goku is everyone he fights, he either kills them or he's like, "Oh no, you're not a bad guy. Be a good guy for now on." And then they just be a good guy for now on. Like Ten Shinhan was an assassin, and then Goku fought him. And then after that, after Goku fought him, he was like, "Oh, you're not a bad guy." And Ten Shinhan was like, "Yeah, you're right. I'm not a bad guy." And then he does the same thing to Piccolo, and yeah. And then I love how Goku gets married at the Tenkaichi Budokai. So like Goku's at the Tenkaichi Budokai, and this girl taps him on the shoulder, and then he just says, "Who are you?" And then she yells, "Stupid," and then runs away. And then Goku has to fight her in a match. And then he remembers, "Oh, that's Chi Chi." And since Goku used to be like really stupid, he's not stupid anymore. But like at the beginning of the series, Go Goku goes through a crazy arc through Dragon Ball. But at the beginning of the series, he's like a monkey, stupid brain, stupid head dummy. And like this girl Chi Chi's like, "Oh, when we grow up, maybe you can marry me or whatever." And then he's like, "Yeah, that sounds good." And then in the in the this volume, he's like, "I thought getting married was something to eat." And then he's like, "Well, I never go back on my promises. Okay, we'd better get married." Because he remembers right there. So like that's another thing that they're ripping off Goku. When Naruto is like with Hinata, he's like, "I never go back on my word." They're just ripping off Dragon Ball. Honestly, like they don't even care at this point. They're just like, fuck it. Just Akira Toriyama's a straight genius. He's a genius. He's a genius. What I love about Akira Toriyama's career is he's just ripping off like fantasy. So like Goku is actually the Wukong, which is a Chinese fable. And there's a lot of fables that Goku goes into here. Like the shape shifting pig is also part of Wukong's journey. Or no, I don't think he was shape shifting, but there's a pig in the Wukong journey. And then we go to the last match of the 23rd Tenkaichi Budokai. Oh, what I was saying about Kira Toriyama's career. His like first manga that did really good was just a Star Wars ripoff. I think you can look that up. So basically, Star Wars, he did like some Star Wars ripoff, and like that was the first manga that like did well. So just rip people off and add more details, and you'll probably be good. Honestly, you might end up like Akira Toriyama. What the philosophy I take out of Akira Toriyama is to keep things simple and then just keep adding shit, and you'll end up with fucking Super Saiyans or something like that. I don't know. I I don't know how Akira does it. And here we are at the 23rd Tenkaichi Budokai. Goku knocks him out of bounds and wins the 23rd Tenkaichi Budokai. And then they reflect on the journey. They're like, wow, Goku really is the GOAT. Because this is Goku's first time winning Tenkaichi Budokai. Strongest under the heavens tournament. So, like, this is what the whole series was leading up to. And then God is like, "Hey, Goku, I'm not a good god. That's obvious. How about you want to be God?" And Goku's like, "God? I'm about to go off with my Chi Chi." You know what I mean? So, like, God is like, "Hey, you want to be God?" And he's like, "Yeah." hey Kintoin, go, and then they run off and have happily ever after with Chi, and then Dragon Ball Z starts. Um, Amazing manga, genius, Akira. Akira's like a genius. He's like a genius beyond genius. He's like if you multiply the genius times two, and you're like, hey, you're a genius, right? And then he's like, I'm not just a genius. I'm a super genius. But what makes him a genius is that he makes it simple, but it's not simple. He makes it simple. He starts simple. He starts small, and then he adds more things. That's why Akira Toriyama is a genius. He's a genius. That is my Dragon Ball manga review. Pretty great manga. Akira Toriyama is a genius beyond geniuses. That's really my thoughts. Goku's the best. One thing I will say about the manga versus the TV show is that things made more sense in the manga. Like, I understood why things were happening. I feel like the anime can be all over the place at sometimes, especially with the filler. Like, you're not really sure what's going on anymore sometimes. I didn't realize how much filler was in Dragon Ball. I thought there was very little filler in Dragon Ball. But like there's like a two panel scene and then they'll make it into like two episodes. It's like a flashback and they'll make it a whole episode. So, but things made a lot more sense. Like I understood what was happening in the manga more than the anime. Like in the anime things are happening really fast and in the manga I think I could understand the story better. I think or may yeah, that's how I'd put it. Okay, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.